Yo,
What's good? It's your boys, Hot Take Duo, back at it again.
it's Falcon Dodson,
B Ford.
and we're here to talk about the biggest winners, losers, and the in-between teams of the 2025 NFL Draft.
With all that said, let's get into it.
So you want to start with the winners or the losers?
Well, let's dig into the winners.
Just going to the winners. All right. Now, obviously, we are Atlanta, Georgia boys. We're all right here, Georgia. And we're going to start off with maybe the best draft class of the league, in our opinion, our humble opinion.
It's our opinion. Everything we say in this video is going to be our opinion
Yeah.
here,
but we think our first two winners are very close in draft class comparability.
A bunch of people are going to stay up there and saying that Falcons had
a C grade draft class, but then you see these guys with the A plus draft grades. Right now,
shouldn't be.
We're one of those guys with the A plus draft grade.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to tell you why. First off, what was everyone saying that we needed the most? What were they saying?
Edge, linebacker. We need people getting to that quarterback.
We needed people getting there. And the two first rounders we got, two dudes that can do it. Yeah. Jalen Walker, off-ball linebacker, can get to the quarterback and drop off all your quarterback QB spy situations. I mean, he's a do-it-all guy in the box.
Everywhere guy.
Yeah. And then obviously James Pierce Jr.
One of the fastest edge rushers I've seen.
Faster than maybe some NFL caliber.
What, he's run like a 4.47?
4.47 at the combine. I mean, that's just unreal, man. That's just unreal. His first step is second to Abdul Carter in this draft.
We did give up a first rounder next year for that pick, but
we did. That's the factor that people giving us a C and some are A plus in it. It's their view on the trade.
Well, in my opinion, what we need next year? What are we going to need next year that we couldn't got right now?
Exactly. James Pierce.
Is there going to be an edge next year that's as good as James Pierce?
At where we're going to draft? You can't know that. And, I'm sure our front office went through that and said, James Pierce is the guy. We wanted to draft him at 15. But
when you have someone like Jalen Walker
you have
still available.
In my opinion, Jalen Walker could be a blue chip prospect at that off-ball linebacker position.
Yes.
Kane Ellis is like the definition of a good NFL caliber off-ball linebacker that we already have.
Yeah.
And Jalen Walker is just going to stay up. He's just going to improve on that. It's going to be great.
Agree on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Falcons. And then with those two first-round picks, then we're going straight to getting Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame.
People had a round 2 grade on him.
Early round 2, and we get him in round 3.
Late round 3. Without that trade, without the third rounder from the James Pierce trade, don't get Xavier.
We don't get him.
Don't get Xavier. I know we had to trade up with the Eagles about 5 spots to get, but we used that third rounder from the James Pierce trade.
Yeah.
You know what Xavier Watts is? A turnover machine. Right next with Jesse Bates. Mr.
That's going to be
Interception.
a great duo out there in the ATL.
Yeah, because we're losing Justin Simmons more than likely, and I don't want Richie Grant to start.
And that's okay. We're losing Justin Simmons.
He was average at best.
Really did not break out the way I thought he was
going to. Great safety for Denver. Maybe all Pro Bowl caliber safety over there. Age got to him a little bit. Came to Atlanta.
A little bit of unk status right there.
Yeah. And he had to take a backseat to the best safety in the league, Jesse Bates.
Exactly.
And then Billy Bowman, safety also.
Be that nickel.
He's going to move down. He's going to move down. Jeff Ulbrich already came out and said that. And I think that would be a great addition, because D offered, he was kind of sorry. I'm not going to put it lightly. I did not like seeing him on the field. Clark Phillips still has a lot to develop. Mike Hughes at the corner, too, I'm okay with. I wish, maybe we can go out and get a guy like Jalen Ramsey. But I'm okay with Billy Bowman starting at nickel day one. I'm good with that. That's 4 day one starters 100%. In one draft.
And that's just like Falcons. You never really see it the past 2 years. We've gone straight offense.
Really? The past 4?
Yeah, now we go first 4 picks. Defense.
Preach.
They go out there and they get the players that are the best available in that position. And the Falcons did a wonderful job.
And I love it. And
I'm ready to watch that season next year.
Yeah, Jack Nelson, the Wisconsin tackle, I think, that's a developmental tackle in the 7th round. He's going to sit, and I'm okay with that. So what was he, like 6'7"? He's giant.
Big boy.
And then, the UDFA's probably the best UDFA class.
Ever, honestly.
Yeah, Nick Nash, I know he's old for a rookie, but, Triple Crown winner.
Okay,
and
but
FBS.
my thing with the older, an old receiver. Everyone's he's an old. He's old.
He's only like
But
20.
like
Was he 25?
25. But then again, you go back to the quarterbacks of this year's draft, like even last year's draft. I mean, I'm going to say Michael Penix was an old head.
Him, Bo Nix.
Bo Nix too. I mean, you're going to go. You can't factor in a receiver being old whenever you're drafting old quarterbacks.
But quarterbacks do have longer careers than receivers.
True.
But it's not like you're taking a risk at a UDFA. It's not like you're using a second rounder on a 25-year-old.
No.
You're just signing him as UDFA. There's no risk.
And in my opinion, yes, I do believe he could have gone round 7, round 6. He had the potential. He had the skills to be in the top 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, what made him get to this position, his age, which is a great pickup for the Falcons.
And then, Kobe Bryant is the big name. Everyone's talking about.
Name.
A lot of people couldn't believe he's drafted. There's a reason these guys fell. Nick Nash fell because of his age.
Yeah.
Kobe, there was some underlying
Us average
thing.
shows ain't gonna know.
We're not gonna know why he fell because everyone believed I've seen some have him as high as a 3rd round grade.
Yeah.
And wasn't even selected. So we're gonna see what happens there with Kobe Bryant. I love that. Well, I think that's enough Falcon stuff.
It is enough Falcons. I mean, overall, we're going to give that our top 1. My top one. I'm sure it's your top 1.
Yeah, top 1.
Top 1, and then dig into the next 2 we got for the winners.
The Ravens could be 1. The Ravens could be 1B. We're 1A, 1B. Our top 3 could be 1A, 1B, 1C. They're all just so good.
They all did, yeah.
The big thing for Ravens is draft value. Is where they got these guys.
Yeah. I mean, Malachi Starks.
Just boom, right here, son.
Dude, the G, repping the G, man. These dogs,
he was unbelievable.
Falling to pick 27 in the 1st round.
I couldn't believe it. No. I couldn't believe he kept falling.
What other safety was going before him? Was he the first safety off the board?
I know Nikamura, he fell to the Seahawks. He was also a 1st round grade, fell to the Seahawks in the 2nd. I know a lot of corners went. I think he was the first safety selected, but he should have went higher still.
Yeah.
Like the Dolphins, I know they picked was Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. I think to replace Javon Holland, who left for the Giants, I think that would have been an amazing pickup.
For sure.
An amazing pickup for them, and they just didn't do it. And I think the Dolphins missed out on a chance. I think 26 teams missed out on a chance for a great starting safety who has all pro potential.
How many years he started? 3 or 4 years?
I'm not too sure how much he started.
He started at least 2 years for Georgia and was an absolute dog.
He made the big plays.
Very athletic. That one play against Clemson in week 1 where he dives up and intercepts.
Hey, he's a ball hawk. He's a ball.
Dude, yeah.
And, in our draft, obviously in our mock draft, I had Mike Green going 15 to the Falcons.
Yeah.
He falls to the middle, late 3rd to the Ravens.
Very surprising.
Obviously
there's reasons behind every reason.
Yeah, the sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that, he's a day 1 pick. You just don't know. They did just release Justin Tucker because of, Deshaun Watson level allegations, which I don't know if true or not, but they also cut him for it. Yeah. I think Mike
great
Green,
pickup right there for the Ravens.
Too talented. The rest of the draft class helped positional wise. I think the 3rd round pick was a tackle. I can't.
But those 2 picks
that
there
pretty much wins you the draft. And it's not because of who they picked; it's because of who they picked, where they were.
Exactly.
The value.
Exactly.
And then let's go to 1C.
1C on our list here.
The Panthers.
As much as it hates,
NFC.
I hate doing this.
Yeah, NFC South
as a Falcons fan, man,
every NFC South team will be mentioned in this video, and there's only what? 8 teams total, and mentioned in the video.
Oh, mentioned in the video.
Yeah, probably 8-10 teams,
yeah.
And all 4 NFC South teams are mentioned.
So
they all had something.
Don't call us biased or anything in
the
comments. So we're fair. We know.
We're putting them as winners. They had an amazing draft class.
McMillan, the villain. Dude?
A lot of people had Jalen Walker going there, which I think would have been a great pickup.
I think I may have had him in the.
You did. I think you did.
I had Jalen Walker going to the Panthers.
I may have too.
I think, yeah. We'll have to go back and check, of course.
But
we'll be doing a recap video of that too.
To see where
this video we wanted to go over winners and losers, and it was a big draft, big splash.
I get what you're saying. McClellan, a lot of people like the Cowboys wanted them to fall, and I think he's Drake London-esque in the size, the catch radius, the speed.
Just to give Bryce Young someone to throw to.
Yeah, because like, Adam Thielen and Xavier Leggett, those aren't receiver ones. Adam Thielen may have used to been, but I mean,
not now.
His catch not Father Time is undefeated.
Well, he's hitting unk status real quick.
Yeah, unk status.
I mean, dude, Bryce Young popped off at the end of the season last year.
Mm-hmm.
With what guys?
O-line was weak. Jonathan Brooks, I mean, first rounder out of Texas. He's a good back. Well, he didn't even play. It was Chuba Hubbard actually having a really good year. I mean, Xavier Leggett and Adam Thielen and was it Jonathan Mingo out of Ole Miss? I don't think he's. I don't know if he's still there. But I think
they didn't have really.
I mean, it's like me and B Ford out there catching passes.
I mean,
Xavier Leggett was a first rounder, second rounder. Yeah.
If I was out there, I mean, it'd probably be a different story. I'd probably be like the OBJ, like one-handed catch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just,
I believe it. I believe Bryce Young could throw it to you, man.
And like Scooten right there.
Nick Scrouten. Scrouten.
Scrouten, however you say
out of A&M, I liked him better than Tremaine Stewart. I'll tell you what. We're going to mention that pick later.
Y'all just wait.
Yeah. And then Prince Munalale.
Yeah,
I mean, two edge talents that to a very weak defense. That Panthers defense, I mean, top 5 worst defense in the league, and they went out and got guys.
I mean, the Panthers haven't had a good defense since what's his name, Luke Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly, God, I love that guy. I hated going against him twice a year. He was, I mean, one of the best linebackers of all time.
The Panthers haven't had a good defensive team since he was there.
Yeah, I mean, those are two great talents. I feel, and if I'm a Panthers fan with Bryce Young, first overall pick, some more talent. They picked up some offensive linemen in the draft to help protect them. Jonathan Brooks. I think this team's heading in the right direction. I don't want them to head in the right direction. I want them to head downhill.
But
they're heading there.
They're heading there for sure.
All right, let's get to the losers. Teams that we didn't think had a good draft. And the first team we just mentioned, Nick Scrouten, Tremaine Stewart. Gonna go with the Bengals. I hate the pick.
Stewart, dude.
Picking him over James Pierce is just unbelievable to me. Over a lot of these other guys, I think I would have picked Nick Scrouten over him. I think I would have picked
Mike Green.
Mike Green. I would have picked Mike Green even with the allegations over him. I would not have picked. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. You know what? Remember the Anthony Richardson, the combine, all the intangibles are there, like all the physical aspects.
That's the same thing with was it Joe Milton?
Joe Milton, but he went
But he's got the athletics.
He's got the arm.
He's got the size. Strength.
But does he have the football talent? He doesn't have production. No. Tremaine Stewart, in 3 years of collegiate football, he's produced 4.5 sacks as an edge. You just can't have.
He's going to be in the UFL before long.
Ooh, is that the hot take?
My hot take. The hot take of this video. Stewart, mark my words. We'll say within 5 years, he ain't going to be in the NFL.
Wow. First rounder out there.
XFL or UFL.
Yeah. And right now, they're not Tremaine Stewart. And who was their other second round pick? Knight? Yeah. Neither of them are participating in on field workouts because they can't get their contracts right, the rookie contracts. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
They're not on field workouts. Their contracts are not, the guaranteed money isn't there or something. No other rookie class. It's just the Bengals, man. I think that front office is trouble. I didn't like them re-signing T. Higgins along with Jamar. I think that's just so much money and 3 players, Joe, Jamar, and T. Higgins.
No, I mean you gotta get rid of.
I think T.
I mean T's a good receiver and everything.
A great receiver, but just said you have Jamar.
You can get a different wide receiver too for less money.
That he ain't gonna have the same level, but he can do the job.
Yeah, I mean, getting the job done in the NFL is what everyone needs.
Yeah. You may be able to score 40 points, maybe, but your defense is going to allow 50. That's the problem with the Bengals.
See, they're good offensive side of the football, dude.
The running backs are okay.
Chase
Brown, Zach Moss. I mean, those are 2 decent backs.
They're all right. Yeah,
O-line's weak, as usual. I mean, that's just Joe Burrow's career.
Speaking of the O-line, I mean, you go in and get Fairchild from Georgia.
Yeah.
He's okay guard at Georgia. I mean, wasn't the best, but he got the job done. He got the job done. I mean, that's what you got to look for. That's what you got to look for. Yeah. Are they going to produce at this level?
Mm-hmm. And we'll find out. The hot take for B Ford is the Jermaine Stewart won't even be in the NFL in 5 years. After that rookie contract's done, he's gone. He's gone. And is it the craziest take? Maybe not.
Look, listen, if he ain't wanting to sign his rookie contract now, is that what it's basically? You don't want to sign it?
Well, it's like
enough money.
It's not. I think it's the guaranteed money is not where they want it.
Where he wants it to be.
Well, it's even the second round pick. Neither of them. They're both not participating.
See, NFL teams, when his rookie contract's up, NFL teams are going to go back to this moment.
And see, did we get it right?
Exactly, and it's going to be another team's going to want him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I've got my hot take. He's out 5 years.
All right. Let's go to the second loser.
Saints.
The Dirty Aints.
The Dirty Aints.
The Dirty Aints. I don't like them. I've never liked them, and I won't ever like them. I'll just say that lightly. Kelvin Banks. I'm not gonna hate on that pick. I know it's not the sexiest pick. I know it's not.
Who did the Saints need coming into the draft though? Did they really need that tackle at pick 9?
It's not. It's not sexy, but you gotta have it. You gotta have it
when the talent's there.
That could have picked better guys, but if you just thought this guy was going to be a great tackle, I could protect your quarterback, which turned out to be Tyler Shaw.
Tyler Shaw.
Maybe the worst pick in the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Shaw.
I don't care what's going on with Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur Sanders is still on the board, and you're picking Tyler Shaw,
bro. Louisville, come on. I know some of these teams, some of these lower level FBS teams can produce. Lamar went to Louisville. But that's a whole different ballgame. We're talking about freaking Lamar.
I mean, he was
Heisman winner. We're talking about Tyler Shaw.
I didn't even know who this guy was until he got drafted.
Yeah, I mean, quarterbacks I'm taking over that were available. I'm taking Shedeur. I'm taking Dylan Gabriel. Yep. I'm taking Quinn Ewers. I'm taking Will Howard. And I love Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. I really like Riley Leonard. I'm taking those are the 5 I just thought off the top of my head. I'm taking over Tyler Shaw. That's a weak pick. And I love it. I want that to happen. I want Mickey Loomis to keep making these picks.
Yeah.
That's what I want to happen.
Let them keep making these bad picks.
Because, they're in cap hell. They've been in cap hell ever since that Michael Thomas deal. I never liked that. I don't want to get into Michael Thomas.
Let's just say that for the video, man.
They're in cap hell. They always will be because they're not willing to just tank it. They're not willing to just take the hit for a few years and suck. But instead, they keep wanting to act like they're some sort of playoff caliber team. Keep signing players, keep restructuring, and keep doing this, and just keep getting deeper and deeper in debt, and do nothing. Go 5-12.
It ain't the Drew Brees era anymore.
Hey, it is not.
You don't got Drew Brees. Get that out your head.
Derek Carr retired today, so he is the guy. Tyler Shaw's gonna have to be the guy.
Wow, Derek Carr retired today.
Is today or yesterday for medical reasons?
Wow. Yeah, I mean that. Oh God, I mean Saints. Y'all have fun if you're a Saints fan. It's okay if you go switch to a different sports team.
Bandwagon.
It's okay to be a bandwagon if you're a Saints fan right now. I mean, I totally understand.
It's a rough future. But the bad thing is they're gonna figure out how to sweep us or something. They always figure out how to beat us. Terrible team. They one of their wins is always Atlanta, and it pains me. But this year I think it's different. I think it's a clean sweep.
I think Falcons go 13-4 this year.
13-4. All the sports books they have them at 7-5. Or 7.5 win total. I mean, we gotta go. We have what? Maybe it's a top 5 easiest schedule in the league.
We're going 13-4. Can I have
two hot takes? 2 hot takes from before. Well, we're getting hot, ladies and gentlemen.
We're getting hot.
All right,
I'm having my second hot take of the video. Falcons 13-4.
Wow.
1 seed.
One seed over the Lions, Vikings, all of them.
Yeah.
Holy. I love it. I love it. I love it.
And who knows?
But our schedule's easy. The 2 toughest opponents I can think of, the Commanders and the Bills. 2 winnable games. We could beat any team in the league, but any team in the league could beat us. That's how the NFL works.
Exactly.
It's not like college where Georgia's going to play Grambling State and kill them. We're playing each game we can lose and each game we can win.
You never know in the NFL.
You never know.
Everyone's there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's there for a reason. All right, we just got done with the Saints.
Let's
go. We talked about the Vikings just now. They're
Who did they draft exactly? I don't know.
As I'll say, they just didn't get the guys. Their
No.
draft class was just overall weak.
I mean, y'all know who Ty Felton is? Donovan Jackson.
Was he the Arkansas receiver?
Yeah. Wait. Maybe.
That was the Lions.
Don't quote me on that.
You know, they picked O-line in the first round. I just didn't love Donovan. Here, let's look up the draft class. Let's look up the draft class. We have some names written here. And see, we're not so sure. Let's look up the draft class. So as he gets that, you know, this is just showing how weak the draft class. You know, and some teams also had that, like the Lions. They're going to talk about them as an in-between. Just overall weaker classes from teams that usually draft pretty well. The Vikings and Lions. You know, Lions as of late drafted really great.
It's Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State.
Yeah, O-lineman. That's what I
Ty
thought.
Felton, receiver out of Maryland, and then they also got a D lineman from Georgia, Tyron Ingram Dawkins.
I'm not the biggest college fan. It's a more B4 territory.
I'm a big Georgia fan. I'm sure you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
As a Georgia fan, I don't really remember watching him play or making any slashes, you know. And I would know if he was a dog.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's a dog. He came from Georgia, but
yeah,
he's not a Jalen Walker type deal or Michael Williams. You know,
he ain't a guy.
He ain't a guy. I mean, out of round. I mean, no one on
Donovan Jackson, Ty Felton, Tyron Ingram Dawkins, Kobe King, and Gavin Bartholomew. Tight end out of Pittsburgh. Just overall weak, not many picks. I don't, Ty Felton, is he even going to be a day? Are any of these dudes is even Donovan Jackson going to be a day one starter? They may have one or less day one starters because, how often is Ty Felton seen in the field over Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? Not a lot. He's going to, I don't know why he was their second.
Well, I don't know why they picked the receiver at all.
I know, but they may have seen something in him, but I don't think that was a position of need, especially, the big thing with these contending teams, their quarterback is on a rookie contract. You got to go get guys now. It's got to be now. Because, once you pay that quarterback, you're limited.
Exactly.
So you got to go, boom, you got to get them. That's what the Falcons are doing, I believe, with Penix. They're buying in. You got to buy in. I just don't think the Vikings bought in. That's why I have them in the loser category.
The Vikings, not the Falcons.
I said Vikings. Vikings in the loser category.
Not the Falcons. Don't let them. Trust me, he's not going to go against the Falcons. So.
All right. Do you want to go the in-between teams, or do you want to talk about the big trade?
Let's talk about let's save the big trade for last year.
You want to save it for last? All right, we'll save the big trade for last. I'm sure y'all know what we're talking
about. We had a couple teams when we were talking earlier. We were like, well, this team could be a winner, or it could also be a loser. So that's why we just had to come up with an in-between.
They had a really good pick, and then maybe a really bad pick, such as
Giants.
Abdul Carter. Blue chip, as I said.
Great prospect.
You can't. Probably a can't miss prospect. Penn State produced Micah Parsons. I think this dude's gonna be a demon in the NFL. He's paired with Kayvon Thibodeau. They picked up that 5th-year option. I think. It's just the right pick at the right position. Everyone knew you're gonna do it, and you did the right thing.
But then you go in and draft Jackson Dart in the first round. You trade up for Jackson Dart in the first round.
No, a lot. I just didn't have a day one grade on him.
Jackson Dart, don't get me wrong. He's got everything there, but the only
what's
thing
special?
Exactly that too. What's special about him? Nothing. Because the thing that makes me mad about Jackson Dart is when he's looking to get hurt when he's out there. So he takes a 10-yard scramble. Is he diving or trying to get out of bounds? No, he's taking that hit and he's always getting hurt.
People could view that as confidence. I may view that as confidence. You may view it as just dumb stupidity where you can just slide and take the extra, that yard and a half back. I'd rather my quarterback slide.
When you're doing it every play, looking for hits and not wanting to slide, that's when there's a problem. Mm-hmm. But when you do it every now and then, maybe 3 times a game, if that, I don't really see a problem. You won't even look at it as a problem.
Going back to the special thing, let's go back to last year's draft class. You think about the special qualities of first rounders. Michael Penix, bomb left arm, could dart it anywhere on the field. Bo Nix, that dude accuracy at Oregon was unmatched. Jane Daniels, Heisman winner. he was just great all around, and you could just tell he was going to burst on the scene. Caleb Williams, I mean, consensus first overall pick. I mean, he had everything. He had nothing was wrong with his game. You know, it didn't produce too much this year, but the potential's still there. Drake May, overall, just better. A lot of people in that draft class as well. Great talent. I had Michael Penix and Bo Nix over Drake May. Easy to say that after the season. I did like those both prospects over Drake May. But I mean, all the guys I just mentioned are better than Jackson
Dart.
100%. Mm-hmm. And I think, and you know, all 5 of them have come common. Special. Something you can tell their game is elevated above others, and Jackson Dart just didn't. I just didn't see it watching Ole Miss. I just didn't see a special talent.
No. And Giants also got Cam Skattebo.
Cam Skattebo, you know, that's a huge win.
That's
big
a
loss.
Good pick.
I love Skattebo. I went to that Texas Arizona State game. I was there. I got tickets for free. I got some tickets, and I'm telling you, Skattebo, I saw him on the sideline, being pissed off.
I mean,
he got something special.
He's throwing the ball. He's catching the ball. He's running the ball.
I mean, you know,
dude just loves the game.
Maybe the best, like contact balance behind Ashton Jeanty.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's not even really close. But he has such great contact balance. You know, compared to Jeanty, is a little unfair. But I think he was great. You know, some other teams picked running backs above him that probably should have went above him. But I think Cam Skattebo could have easily been a second round or third round pick. But he went to the 4th. It was a 4th rounder, I believe. Okay. That was the Giants, the in between. You know, you can view him as a winner. You can view him as a loser.
That was probably our top in between right there out of this whole list we have here.
And then we have the Rams.
I mean,
you know,
really all they got out of this draft was the Falcons' first round.
You know, that was a good trade for both sides, I believe. But then their draft class was
nothing special.
Nothing special. It was just weak.
I mean, tight end Ferguson out of Oregon, and then you got outside linebacker Josiah Stewart.
I mean, just nothing. I mean, honestly, maybe no day one starters coming out of there. No day one starters coming out of LA. I mean, people view that trade as the Rams ripped us off, or some people view it as an even trade, which it is. But, I mean, the Rams, in between, not a great draft class, good trade for them, good trade for us, but just nothing special. They just got some maybe depth.
So, ultimately, we could have had them off the in-between list, but
we wanted to put them there.
We just wanted to talk about
it. We wanted to put in a little insert there. Now, as we mentioned, all 4 NFC South teams are going to be in the video, and here is the Bucs, You know, Emeka Buku, I loved him as a talent.
Great receiver.
Day one grade.
Did the Bucs need him?
I didn't think so. You know, obviously Mike Evans is old. I mean, not super old. He's still, maybe he can extend that 1,000-yard streak next season. I think he probably will.
How long will he keep doing it for? That's the thing.
I think the year after next may be where it's.
He might get 2 more.
2 more would be awesome.
2 more would be.
But then there's Chris Godwin, who's not super unk. I mean, they just re-signed him. I think Chris Godwin would be receiver 1 once that's gone.
I think you go out there and get some defense.
I think you had more positional needs in receiver. I think, you've won the NFC South 4 years in a row. If you wanted to keep doing that, you go out and get a positional need on defense and get those guys.
Because think about what's Ibuka gonna do to help them secure the number 1 spot?
He's not gonna add any wins. He's gonna help, but is he gonna do anything super special that would differentiate? A few years down the line, if Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are gone, Emeka Buku could be that guy. But do you want to take that guy right now when you could be winning the NFC South every year?
Exactly.
I just don't think it was the right
because
pick.
4 years from now, we're going to have a Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams up on the board.
Yeah.
Like
some other talents that you could take
other talents. Like you just don't you don't take a position.
And that's why they're in the in between. Those second rounder, I wanted him for the Falcons. Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame, and I know he dealt with the injury. That dude was a baller. I mean, straight up baller for Notre Dame. They also took Ted. I didn't like the pick. I liked Tez Johnson, but why are you taking Tez Johnson after Emeka Buku in the 7th round just to see? I mean, I know it's a 7th rounder, not much risk. But, still,
there's a whole bunch of other guys on the board.
Kobe Bryant, Nick Nash. Exactly. If I would have picked Nick Nash over Tez Johnson.
Yeah.
No. And so the Bucs are in between. They're not losers, but they're not winners. They're just middle of the pack, maybe a little lower in the pack, but they're not terrible. If you're a Buccaneers fan, Rams fan, Giants fan, especially the Giants. Giants are maybe higher up, but
be happy about
yeah,
the draft.
but like the Rams and Bucks,
just can't place them with our winners.
You're complacent, yeah. All right, now we're done with all that. We're gonna talk about the trade of the night. We didn't include either of the teams in the winners and losers because everyone's gonna have it in a different category. We're gonna talk about the Travis Hunter trade. That's what we're gonna call it. The Bucks. Okay, I mean the Browns. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna give you the details first. It's here on my paper. The Browns received number from the Jags, number 5, which turned into Mason Graham, number 36, second rounder, which turned into Quinshon Junkins, and then the 4th rounder, number 126, which turned into Dylan Sampson. 2 running backs. I don't know if I love that.
For the Browns?
2 running backs right there. And then they got next year's first. Got a lot, and then I'll talk about the rest of the draft class in a minute.
All for that one pick?
Well, the Jags received the number 2, and they received the 4th rounder, 104, and that was turned into Tutton. I'm not sure who that is. But look up the Jags draft class real quick so we can get a good. And then 2025 6th rounder, number 200, Lane, who I believe is a safety. So, 2 picks probably we'll find out in a second.
But ultimately,
it was the Travis Hunter trade.
You're going to do whatever it takes to get Travis Hunter.
Generational talent. I think, what's your take? Let's hear your take.
On Travis Hunter?
On this trade. What do you think the Browns should have done? Do you like the trade, or do you think they should stay?
I like the trade here. You said they get a first rounder next pick.
Yeah,
they pick 2 running backs?
Yeah, they went back 3 spots, and they got the 2nd, 4th, and next year's first from the Jags.
I like it. The Browns, you get Mason Graham out there with Myles Garrett, which this previous offseason, Myles Garrett wasn't happy.
Wasn't happy, but they paid the man.
He wanted some help out there on the defense, and you go out there and get Mason Graham while trading
and the dollar bills helped.
Yeah, overall, I think it's a great trade, both ways.
This is where I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you before. No bad blood.
That's fine.
I think they should have stayed. I love Travis Hunter. I think if he was a pure receiver, he'd have been the number 1 receiver in the class. And I think if he was just a pure corner with if Will Johnson was healthy, I may have had Will Johnson above Travis Hunter. But due to the injuries, I had Travis Hunter as my number 1 corner. This he's just an unbelievable football player. I think if I was a Browns fan, I think it's a great trade for the Browns. If I'm a Browns fan, I want Travis Hunter. I want to go get this guy that can do everything. I think the Jags, I know they gave up a lot. That is so much to give up. That is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
The Jags they're thinking about the future here.
Travis Hunter, and you got Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, T-Law on the offensive side, and then you got Tyson Campbell and Travis Hunter. I thought Travis Hunter isn't going to play 100% of the snaps. He's probably going to play more offensive, but he's going to play both ways. And I think the Browns might end up regretting this trade in the future because remember the last time they traded back, and the way back they were the top guy.
It was with
Julio.
Oh wow!
It was way back, and they drafted buns. They drafted nobody with all the picks we gave them. Nothing. We got a first ballot Hall of Fame talent in Julio Jones, and I think obviously we won that trade. But that's the last time they did something like this. Could it be repeating history? Obviously I don't want that to happen for the Browns, but in my opinion, it could be. I think the Jags made the right choice doing this.
Jags, they've had everything there the past couple years since drafting Trevor Lawrence.
But T-Law, he was an Andrew Luck level prospect and hasn't panned out exactly to the hype.
No, he hasn't.
But he's got weapons now.
I've seen flashes there every season. I've seen flashes.
But if there's a year he breaks on the scene,
out,
boom! This is it.
Is that your hot take?
I think the Jags won this trade. I think the Jags could very easily compete for the division down there if everything pans out.
Do I see them making a deep playoff run?
No. But the Texans, they didn't have a great draft class in our opinion. We debated about putting them in the losers category. I think they didn't have a great draft class either. But, obviously they've dominated. The Jaguars they think you're going to do something. They had a terrible season last season. But, I think they had a good draft this year. I think with this Travis Hunter pickup, I think it's going to boost morale around. New head coach in Liam Cohen. I think my hot take is the Jags take the division. I think that's my hot take. I think they take the division. You know, but you know the consensus problem. That's why it's called a hot take.
It's,
you know,
it's getting hot in here with all these hot takes.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think that's my hot take of the day. This trade is a huge one for the Drags. Got to turn the fan on in here.
Hey, turn the fan. There's no one else.
Yeah, as I said, it's just it's recording on my phone. But I think that's my hot take. Jags taking the division. Travis Hunter, you know, I don't want to say he's going to win Rookie of the Year both sides of the ball. That's crazy. But I think he will probably win Offensive Rookie of the Year over Cam Ward. So,
there's no way he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, there's Jalen Walker. James Pierce and Jalen Walker. They're going to split that.
Yeah, then they might split the trophy.
Yeah.
Or whatever award, trophy, whatever they get.
Did we cover everything?
I think we covered everything. And, like, if you think we didn't add a winner that you think,
leave it in the comments. Leave suggestions for videos in the comments. Leave your thoughts in the comments.
What we can do better.
Yeah, leave everything you can think of in the comments. You know, obviously like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell icon.
Make sure you hit that bell icon so you don't ever miss a video.
Yes, sir.
Hey, and soon, about a couple weeks, we're about to be posting every week.
Yeah, we know we've had some scheduling conflicts.
It's hard with school.
My school just ended. My
school's about to wrap up in about 2 weeks, so
and then it's gonna be booming. We're gonna have episodes. We're gonna, obviously we said we're not gonna be just about football. Next episode, I think it's probably gonna be about the NBA.
Yeah, because the NBA playoffs are wrapping up here soon.
Yeah, I think we could talk about that. We could talk about, because by the time we make that video, the series, the Pacers and the Knicks, Celtics, Pacers, Cavaliers will both be over. I think both those series will be over. I think it's going to be very interesting to talk about those series.
Yeah, so stay tuned for next episode. We take a break from the NFL and dig right into the NBA.
And, leave your comments on what that next video should be in the comments. We may shout you out and do that video next. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys.
This has been your Hot Take Duo, Falcon Dotson.
B Ford.
Signing out.